Have you ever created an OC as a child that's supposed to be you, and you just draw them interacting with your favorite fictional characters or having adventures with the friend group you were in before? Would you like to try again to dabble on that? Hi, hello, this is Tiny and I Draw. Today we're going through the process of making a persona, or at least how I do it. Before we get into it though, I just want to mention my apologies if the mic quality sounds a bit weird. My earphones I used to record for all of my videos just decided that it doesn't want to work anymore. Yeah, I totally didn't break. I totally didn't break it by accident. I swear. Anyways, yeah, I hope you understand, and I hope this doesn't sound really bad. All right, let's get into it. Like the video about character design, this is not supposed to be an end-all be-all kind of guide, more like a suggestions to get you started. So using a similar method from that video, think of what it's for. Yes, it is a persona, which is a character that represents you, but you gotta think on the context of how it's going to be used. Is it for your content, so you can draw in sprites of your character talking? Is it for fun, so you can draw yourself in situations you've experienced before? Or do you just want to make one for the sake of it? Whatever it is, that can be your starting point to think on how you want your persona to be designed. Whether it having to be a complex, detailed VTuber or 3D model, or a simple design that's easy to replicate, or even a mascot that's just simple little shapes that can be drawn in 5 seconds, whatever works. I personally have 3 main personas with different purposes. The first would be Beancat, the mascot that you see in my content. He's easy to draw and is canonically a shapeshifter, so he's very shapeable and can be drawn in different ways that can still be recognized. I usually doodle him a lot to express my emotions and feelings back when I was in school and had no available outlet nor the vocabulary to express how I felt. So Beancat was the vessel that helped with emotions communicated through visuals. If you want to make your own mascot sona, think of what you want it to be first. It's rather easy if you already have a favorite animal to go by and just try to doodle something up that represents you in a silly way. The other 2 are a little more complex in a way compared to our lovable little Beancat, and they both share the same name. So let's talk about them while we delve more into the potential process of making a persona, shall we? So the second one is Orion Starbreaker. You've seen him in one of my video speed paints but knew nothing about him. Don't worry, I'll explain further as we talk about an underrated method I like using for my personas. At least underrated for me. Orion Starbreaker is a shape-shifting deity of creation and chaos, and had actually reincarnated several times, their previous forms destroyed by their own instability and circumstances laid out for them. However, Orion is the only one who had formed out of stability and healing instead of pain and destruction. As their vessel was quite fragile, their previous form before him kept breaking into little shards that left a trail. And it wasn't until that form reunited with one of those shards, who had actually formed a body to inhabit and has his own life and soul, did Orion form. This is just a fraction of my persona lore, but if I kept going, we'd be here all day, so maybe next time. Now, this persona specifically is built on what I want it to look like if I could customize my own appearance. With the outfit being inspired by the Grim Reaper's outfit in A Day with Death, that was actually unintentional while I was redesigning my persona again. Honestly, I think that says a lot. Basically, design-wise, you can go in a direction where you can choose what you want to look like, whether that being a deity with wings or just someone that looks like you in real life. However, I personally have my own backstory to this persona that's heavily based on my own experience, but shown in a different way with metaphors and all. A persona is essentially a vessel for your identity. And you can be more personal about it by using your own experience create that connection between you and your created vessel. It can be a healthy outlet to process things you've never were able to process before, and maybe even use it to communicate with others who may have struggled with the same thing. You could totally use this for your own OCs that aren't meant to be a representation of yourself, and I do use dashes of my own experiences to them as well. This could be a relieving experience to sort out everything when you already have a persona that can help with just that. Now, the third one is actually in the Yume shipping / self-shipping circle, who resembles more like myself in real life, and very personal for me. He has the same name, Orion, but to differentiate them, we will call him Ryan. Ryan is what I'd call a sunshine sona, based on the game A Date with Death by 2.5 Studio, and is supposed to be a representation of the MC, the main character, of the game itself. The game acknowledges the MC as Sunshine, as your love interest, a literal Grim Reaper, calls you that name. This Ryan is a little tricky, since he's literally just me. Flaws and all, he's just me in real life if the circumstances were to differ, but still retains the same backstory and such as myself. The only difference is our wardrobe and our living circumstances. He actually lives alone in his own little apartment with a little cat named Sparkle. Now, to talk more about this character, we might delve into spoiler territory, and I'm actually not sure what counts as that, so just a quick warning. You can play the base game for free and get the DLC if you have the money to spare, along with a warning of delving into darker topics relating to depression and passive suicidal thoughts, so proceed with caution. Alright, let's get into it. Ryan is me. The same me who struggles with depression the longest and had several issues in their life. He found it mundane and exhausting, but he kept going anyway. The same human who somehow escaped death at every turn, despite him trying to make it happen. He doesn't want to do the act himself, but if he were to die from an accident, he'd allow it. But it never happens. An incoming truck without a driver rushing towards his direction, even just standing still didn't help as it swerved to the side and hit a lamppost. A piano falling from the sky, missed by a hair. He even avoided a cafe that burned into flames the second he left that weirdly empty building. So, he moved on, continuing to live their dull life full of danger that doesn't even bat an eyelash at this point. Everything changed, however, when a strange app showed up on their laptop, and a stranger who claimed to be the Grim Reaper had texted them that they wanted his soul. And the rest is history. So, for this persona, he has a slightly different purpose. Yes, it is for a Yume ship / self-ship for the Grim Reaper Casper, but it's also a safer way to explore an aspect of life that can be a little risky. Love. Romantic love, specifically. When you're afraid of dating in real life, or you had a bad experience, or you're just not interested, you can freely explore that aspect of life in a safe and controlled environment. And it can be especially enticing if you're doing a self-insert in an already existing media, as you can lean into the lore to explain things about your character or persona. My sunshine sona, Ryan, is a human who struggles with passive suicidal thoughts, and may have had attempts to which had failed every time. This is because in the game, the MC has a special soul. A soul that is the embodiment of life, as Casper's soul is the embodiment of death. A soul that heals those who need it. A soul that once you wish for someone or something to heal or recover, it gives away parts of their own soul to heal them. That soul protects Ryan from death as well, shielding away potential danger so his life won't end prematurely. I have lived for this long for a different reason, but this is such a cool reason of why he didn't die. I also mentioned this in our previous video about self-indulgence, but having a persona who is a self-insert of your favorite media can be fun and actually help you explore different aspects of yourself and who you are, along with who you can be under different circumstances. Basically, a persona doesn't have to just be a representation of yourself. It can be a vessel that helps you explore your own identity and figure out who you are. Even now, getting therapy and all that, I'm still figuring out who I am, who I want to be, and who I can be. A persona can be an outlet for that, to experience things you've never experienced before, to allow yourself to express your past pain and trauma, to allow yourself to be. Again, you don't have to get too deep into it if you don't want to. If anything, just a simple, what do I want to look like if I can customize myself without limits, works just fine. But the simple acknowledgement that you can really get fun once you delve into it more. Now, before we end the video, we get into the section where we look in our character uploader and try to read your OCs purely based on their character design. We'll be doing one per video, so if your OC isn't here yet, you gotta wait for it. Don't worry, in future videos we can do a few more if we have the time for it. Yeah, that works. Let's take a look, shall we? This is a character from the Deaf One on Glomble and Drama on Kara, and he uses he/him pronouns. This is the same person who had suggested this fun activity. He had submitted Himari Shizumi, who uses she/her. I really like that she has her ethnicity and sexuality flags. It's really fun to see. From this very simple design, the first thing that caught my eye was her face mask, which led me to believe that she's either self-conscious about her face and prefers to hide behind a mask, or wants to prevent herself from getting sick easily. Fair enough, honestly. Next was the simple outfit, a plain t-shirt and pants with a nice pair of boots. Makes me think that she prefers comfortability than appearance. And finally, from the way she poses with a peace sign and her expression, makes me think that she seems quiet at first glance, but could be fun and talkative once you get to know her. I actually shared this to my dearest, loveliest proofreader Olivia's in a Void on YouTube and kindest Void on Glomble, who has something to say but is apparently too lazy to record her line, so I just read it for her. Take care, love you, Liv. You're so awesome. Anyway, she mentioned that the boots are pretty cute and reminded her of a tomboyish aesthetic to it, along with the way her hair is tied, which I agree, yes. Imani is adorable. Thank you for submitting her. And with that out of the way, I hope this video helped you in one way or another. Keep making stuff, take care, and have a lovely day every day. Bye bye!